King David on that stone, and how basically that King David persecuted our fathers. He was literally saying that because Moab was one of the enemies, just as Edom was an enemy.
I think that's it.
No, that's it. That's the Los. That's the Los Lunas.
Okay.
No,
is it Moabite stone? Is it here in is it found here by Native Americans or something else?
It was from Moabites.
It was from Moab. Okay, I'm thinking of something.
Yeah. Like a big tablet, kind of like an arc on top, kind of like that, right?
Yeah, like almost like
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Here we go. What's that?
Yeah, that's it. There's pretty much an article that actually interprets the writing on that stone, right, into English, so you know what they're saying. And it mentions the house of David in that stone. Let me see. See if I can look for it.
Elements which naturally enter the Hebrew Bible.
Let me go here. And somebody real quick, go to Psalms 60. No, jump down to like verse 8 maybe.
Yeah. Psalm 60 and 8. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia triumph thou because of me. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me into Edom?
And this is after King David conquered those nations, where he's pretty much triumphant over them. You know, like he was basically talking his shit after he conquered them. And Moab, that's my watch spot. You know, so just imagine generations after David was gone. You know, the Moabites was sharing, you know, that information, teaching their sons, hey, Judah and David, the house of David, they're enemies.
Yep, that's what they're saying.
This is our God, and they was worshiping Chemosh and whatever other
Dagon,
you know, all them other deities that they was worshiping. All right, so they had to teach their sons to grieve us. You know. Let me real quick. It says right here, I'm gonna read it. It says, this is from this article. It says, in the 9th century BC, Mesha was successful in throwing off the yoke of Israel and bringing the area once again under the authority of Moab. 1 Kings 3:5, the Mesha inscription. It says 2 Kings 3 recounts how Joram, Jehoshaphat, and the king of Edom combined forces to attempt to bring Moab back under Israelite control. They attacked from the south and were successful in routing the Moabite forces and destroying many towns. That's in 2 Kings 3:24-25. It says, but when the coalition tried to dislodge Mesha from Hareseth, modern Karak, they were unsuccessful. After Mesha sacrificed his oldest son on ramparts of the city, it says the fury against Israel was great. They withdrew and returned to their own land. That's 2 Kings 3:27. The campaign must have taken place between 848 and 841 BC, the only time where Joram and Jehoshaphat were both on the throne. Although the campaign met with some success, it appears that Moab retained its independence. This is confirmed by the Mesha inscription. The Mesha inscription gives us the rest of the story. It reads, in fact, like a chapter from the Old Testament. Its language, terminology, and phraseology are exactly the same as what we find in the Bible. Mesha credits his successful revolt and recapture of the Moabite territory, as well as other accomplishments, to Chemosh, national god of Moab. He does not, of course, record his defeat in the south at the hands of the coalition armies. Similarly, although the Bible records Mesha's revolt, it gives no details on his success. So each record, accurate in its own way, records events from a different perspective. Yeah.
From we have the other nigga. That nigga argue me about the Bible not being the first, like the oldest. I'm like, I don't care if the oldest is written in the first person. Like it's written directly to us as a people, versus any other, Sumerian account or Dead Sea Scrolls or whatever. Yeah, who cares about all that? This is written directly to God's chosen people. That's who this book is for. So we get that first person perspective versus the third person that the heathen have to try to interpret the Bible. You know? And then we see that they've gone back and tried to rewrite certain religions from the perspective that they want. This book ain't like that.
Romans 4, 15 and 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So these things, these scriptures, like the brother said, were written for the Lord's people. So, the history. So, we read these things, we understand. We're now understanding that these events, these historical events pertain to us and our people, our history, and it gives us examples on how, like the brother's going into, how we're supposed to grieve our enemies. We're supposed to know that we have enemies. Who are our ancient enemies? Our ancient enemies are our enemies this day, today.
Yep.
You don't think those small hats do that shit?
Really?
That's why they're programmed with that Zionist mindset as children.
Yeah.
They look at them Ishmaelites over there as basically they're less than human.
Yeah.
Yep. You've seen that.
That's why they don't feel nothing, no compassion when they see their forces just annihilating them.
They teach their children out of the Talmud, where they say goy, you can do whatever. You don't have to pay a goy back. You can have sex with a goy girl as long as she's under this. They teach their children this, but the point is they're teaching their children to who the enemy is. All right, these nations are nothing. They should be under us.
But we're taught to love everybody.
Right.
We're taught everybody shares a similar emotional attachment to what we went through. To where we have a sympathy or an empathy for them, though they haven't been through the atrocities we've been through. So that's why that LG, so on and so forth, Skittle deal, when you taste the rainbow and shit, it makes you think that they're oppressed like we were. That's not the same thing.
It's considered hate speech if we teach our children, the righteous books righteous laws out of our book, the righteous history that we have. That's considered hate speech, but when they teach it, well, you can't say anything. That's part of their culture. You can't. That's anti-Semitic if you say anything about what they teach in their people.
But then they get mad when we bring up.
Yeah.
They put evil for good and good for evil.
Right.
You
can't question. You can't question. Okay, the Talmud or whatever. We can't question none of that shit. None of their books, none of their history is not up for question. It's not up for debate.
Somebody said something on that America's Best Picks and Videos app. That's a right-wing app, man. That's just crazy. And people don't understand. Everybody had slaves, so you black people are special or some shit like that. Thinking that because you went through slavery, everybody owned slaves, even other blacks. It's like, yeah, but that's because that's how the world works. Right. But not everybody's got, and I put a scripture on there. I'm trying to remember what I put. All have not been done as have been done unto the children of Israel.
Daniel.
Yeah. Right? And there was like, some people thumbed it up, but people got real quiet. Like that chat was blowing up. But the thing about it is, some of you people are just so ignorant. They say all these things because they're trying to fit a narrative. They don't. The whole point is, Psalms 83 and Psalm 64, they have to stay confederate and making sure we don't rise up, whether they understand it or not. Imagine what should happen if our people rose up. What they would do if they were us. If Edomites was oppressed like this, imagine what they would do. Imagine the hell that they would push off.
If it was, think about what chattel slavery made it so bad is, it was documented.
Yep.
The documentation, the pride of Esau, to put these events on postcards, to have journals and diaries of all. Well, shit, the brother about to read it.
Souvenirs of Jake.
Castrating Jake and putting it in a bottle.
They had furniture made out of Jake's shoes.
Yeah.
They would take Jake's teeth and put it in their mouth. Jake had better teeth
Bro,
than Jake.
they turned Nat Turner's body into oil.
Yep.
To this day, they got furniture with the bushes made as Jake's hair.
Yeah. Ain't no other nation went through that.
They also used to sell tickets, like you go to a basketball game to see J.K. Lynch and shit.
Yeah. They would put on postcards. Not only would they hang Jake, they would burn Jake. They would, on a postcard, they would say, "Look at this barbecue we had today."
Oh, that's where the term came from, right?
Yeah, barbecue, like picnic.
Yep.
You pick a nigga.
They brought food out there, and after they was unloading them off parading them out, if you will.
Yeah.
Over the auction blocks, they sit there eating their chicken and watermelon, and biscuits and shit, and cornbread. Say, "Oh, we want him. That's a big ass." Just like the fuck, we all know it's like the draft, all these different NFL basketball combines and whatnot.
Why is it always a look how many slavery movies is out there?
Yeah.
On the captivity of Jake.
Yep.
Why you ain't gonna put the Schindler's List out there,
Yep.
but you got a few of those. I might even talk about that shit, but you got a few of those. You ain't got no Moabite slavery movies.
Yeah.
You ain't got no Ishmaelite slavery movies. Where are these slavery movies? No, the main slavery movies that people want to tune into is the 12 Years a Slave, is the Birth of a Nation. It was an old one back in the day where they had Jake on the ships. It was Roots. It was another one.
Amistad?
No, it was another one, bro. It was like an older movie. The apostles used to bring it out. By Uncle Tom. Yeah. They would show all these slavery movies about our captivity. But go back to the question that you said. Oh, everyone has to. So where's the history at? It wasn't.
They even had one. It was a movie based on Wounded Knee.
Yeah.
They did a movie on that too about what they did to the Gadites.
Did it? I think
Bear my heart at Wounded Knee.
Yeah.
That's the new one, right? Well, it's not new no more, but yeah.
Yeah.
PT2. Not 50.
They was gonna come out with Roots too, but they ended up killing dude because he was gonna come out and tell them that the black people was the Hebrews. They ended up killing dude for that.
I got a
We gotta sit in front of the TV screen in class and watch the pianist and shit. Schindler's List.
Yeah. Learn about their history and how bad they had it. But they own everything. They own everything, but they got it so bad. They can come over here as migrants and get $100,000 loans. We're talking about $100,000 loans back in the day with no collateral. They give them home loans with no jobs.
They give them loans.
They give them.
They get bank shit.
Yeah, they get business loans.
Districts. They get all kind of shit.
They like downtown LA, for example. Amalek damn near own the whole block. Cause you know why? Cause you tell Amalek owned it because on certain holidays, all that shit down there be closed down.
Yeah, they own all the mines, diamond mines,
Yeah,
precious metal
yeah.
mines.
Yeah.
You know, they own all the clothing,
Mm-hmm.
textile clothing, yeah, textile. Yep.
It was a movie with Adam Sandler. It was on Netflix. He was a Jew. But he owned all the-
Uncut Gems?
Uncut
Yeah,
Gems.
yeah.
Yep.
I got one. We're speaking about slavery, right? And this Exodus 21, verse 16, it says, "And he that stealeth the man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death." And hey, till this day, right? The nation of Israel, for the most part, we can still be found here in this man's hand.
Yeah. That's the issue.
Particularly the Southern Kingdom, right? Which it's well documented that you with the other nations, you got together and you went into the other places in Africa, right, where Jake fled. You stole, you stole a whole nation of people, man. This is not just any, because there's human trafficking going on all the time. Individuals being, you know, but you stole a whole nation.
That was the original world trade.
World trade, man. And it's like the New York Stock Exchange, Wall Street was pretty much originated with slavery, man. And so when the Lord returns, well, where are the people? Where are his people at? They're gonna be found in the hands of this man. That's why he's coming to free his people, his elect. And what's gonna happen to them? He's gonna surely be put to death. You know, that's the what's that word I'm looking for? That's the justice that's gonna be served to this man. You know, the sentence. Death.
Somebody get
Revelation 13.
I got it.
The judgment.
He was already on it.
Spirit. Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
You didn't say that earlier on something like that? This is what we gotta look forward to. This is what we hope for. This man go there.
This honor have all his saints.
Yep.
Yep.
You read that in Birth of a Nation.
Right. Also, his children are going to be sold into captivity.
Yep. And we already casting lots. Remember we used to do this, you know. We used to cast lots.
He's not going to get to enjoy his children anymore.
Says Joel should sell them to the Sabians.
Yeah.
Greece. Sabians, big ass Africans.
You know, they're going to put hell on Esau.
I got to bring it for you. Back here real quick. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 7. And the Lord, Yahweh, thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
Yep. And so, when you critically think, that's the only thing that's going to make you feel better. Yeah, reparations ain't going to make you feel better.
And that's the real revenge.
Yeah.
It ain't about putting our hands. Yeah, we want to put our hands on, but we know it ain't. That's not enough. You know what I mean? We can put our hands on the Edomite right now, but still we in still captivity. Them curses being put on them going through the bullshit we go through, they not gonna be able to take it.
Who was that posted the worst prisons in the world? Was that one of y'all?
Oh no. I think I
When they had those men in cages sitting over water.
Yeah.
yeah.
Bro, that's what's coming.
Yeah, it was like it was somewhere in Europe or Russia where it was like they was on their feet. It wasn't like you was in the cell just chilling and you got your commissary. They was on their feet 23 hours out the day.
Yeah, kind of.
They didn't see no sunshine. When they did go out, they had to cover over their heads so they couldn't see no sunlight. It was real. It was torture. Yeah, and it was almost like you would die. It would be a relief to die
Yep.
than to continue with that torture of being in that prison.
Somebody said they had, so I remember why I heard it, because they used it in a movie. Oh, she was 12, 13 anyway, but it said, have you ever been in a cell too short for you to stand up, but and not wide enough to lay down? Think so you can never stretch out. Imagine that.
That's like claustrophobic.
Bro, the thought of it had me like, bro, that when I first heard that shit.
Yeah.
My knees is
Like
tight
you're
right
stuck
now.
in a cave.
Yeah. You can't, you just restricted the whole way. You can't stand up there, you can't lay down. That's torture.
Was that shit they put your head in like that?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, I know something. Yeah, it's just torture. This is what these Edomites have figured out.
This shit, right?
I don't want to say the beauty, but the genius of it now, they done it to us mentally.
This devil meditated evil.
Yeah, meditate terror.
Okay, he had a long time to sit around and think of ways to put hell on Jay.
This one around with what's it called? The yoke. The yoke. It wasn't like they was just.
It wasn't light.
It wasn't like they was just chilling, just doing regular. They had to work with that shit on their neck. And it's like they had a quota to meet. So if you didn't have enough cotton or whatever crop you was picking that day, you get your ass beat. So they had to work with that on their neck. That's torture.
Yeah,
That's hell.
It had bells on it. Right?
Yeah. So they could know if they
Ran
ran or not.
And if you're in the deep south, you can't run through the fucking woods.
Man.
Grab one off.
Bro.
Brush.
I was in Louisiana. I'm like, man, this is modern.
Bro.
Like now, think about, man, it was all just swamps and shit. Jake escaping out of there, man. The Most High was really dealing with it.
Had to,
man.
bro.
Had to. Cause man, them swamps is deep. It's
Pitch
dark
black.
as hell out there.
You got
Spiders, man.
crocodiles.
Man, crocodiles. You dealing with
Yeah,
all the
alligators
elements.
select.
All the elements. Crocodiles, snakes. You know. But Jake was still, Jake had that spirit on him to, at least try to get free. But with that yoke on their neck.
Hey, even
Imagine that. Imagine living like that. Imagine waking up. You couldn't even sleep with that shit on.
bro, before that, the hell that it took for Jake to survive the ship. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, people dying right next to. When you brought out that picture, look how close they are.
Oh yeah.
You had women and men dying right next to each other. Women on a cycle during that period.
Seasick.
Bro, throwing up.
Defecating.
Yeah, poop, shit, man, piss. Not being able to move in the confines,
The food out.
bro. And it's hot.
And it's hot. Or it's claustrophobic and you got no fresh air.
Bro, I don't know if any brother ever been seasick, but that shit is torturous.
This one
It was packed in there as like cargo.
Like sardines.
You know?
Cargo slave.
Cargo slave ship. It was cargo. Jake was cargo.
Oh, they ain't gonna
But-
show that in the modern day education.
But going back to what you said, everybody had slavery, right?
Yeah,
everybody was okay. Yeah,
all slaves.
shit. Yeah, we was all slaves. Everyone
Y'all
was
fought over on boats.
Boats like that?
stacked like sardines and shit.
Bro, talking about meditating terror, right? 8 disturbing images of instruments of torture used on black people in slavery. First one, the cotton screw. This device, you can see it. You see this, right? That's the screw in the middle. And they have a horse on this end,
Pulling.
and they would cause the horse to run out, and the slave would be tied on the other side, hanging from his arm. And he would have you hanging with one arm. And so basically, it's the horse going the opposite way that's keeping you up, while the slave master is whipping you.
So you can't do all that shit we used to do as kids.
Yeah.
Get our ass whooped.
Then
Put
they
the
have
hand
another
back there and
one
shit.
where they had all your limbs attached to like 4 different horses.
That's where you get the Levi Strauss logo from.
The thumb screw. Thumb screw. Another one. Place your thumb right there. It says the thumb screw is a torture instrument that was used on captured black people aboard slavery trader ships on the Atlantic Ocean. The torture device was often used against Africans, Jake, involved in uprisings and insurrections during the Atlantic slave trade from the 16th to the 19th century. The leader would be forced to place his thumbs between two flat metal pieces connected by one or more screws. The metal bars had ridges, either smooth bumps or sharp spikes,
Hey, bro.
that would bore into the victim's thumbs, trapping them in the metal mechanism as his bones were crushed. It was a small torturous device that inflicted extreme pain without too much effort.
Now we know E, man. He'll put anybody part in there.
Yeah.
It's not just for thumbs,
Nah,
but
yeah,
that's what
right,
they
right.
say it's for. But we gotta think about how this devil think. They
got
say
something.
thumbs, but that's not all it's for, man.
I got something.
And then of course you got the mask with the yoke of iron.
You brothers seen Birth of a Nation?
Yep.
You seen when they was knocking out Jake teeth to force feed him?
Yeah.
I got, anybody read? This is Ezekiel 35, verse 1. In the NLT it says,
Matter of fact, hold that. Let's hold that. Let me read this first. Anybody got something else to bring out before this? Because I want to use that to paint the picture of we gonna get them on all them levels as well. The brother already hit Deuteronomy 30.
Right.
Yep. So let me read this right quick. You got it. This is in the Willie Lynch letter, page 8. For y'all that know about this book, you can't see that. Right? This is page 8. It says, take this simple little list of differences and think about them. At the top, because we were first talking about passing down information from the elder to the younger. That's why I was starting to read it. But I mean, if we go through this book, you're going to see how diabolical this man's mind really is.
It's not. It's
You can't grow up with that. Like they say, racism isn't born with.
Exactly.
You can't be born racist, but you can be born thinking you're different anyway. A different flavor of the rainbow anyway. They said it can't be taught. Well, you know that they passed this hatred down. Okay, there's still some of the kids that watch some of the images that we see, you know, hangings and whatnot. Some of them is grandparents now, or even great-grandparents now, still around, right? Anyway, it says, take this simple little list of differences and think about them. At the top of my list is age. It says, but it is there only because it starts with an A. It says there's the second is color or shade. There's intelligence, size, sex, status on plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or on a hill east. So it's divide and conquer on every level, right? Is what he's dictating here. Whether you live on a hill east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or tall or short. And this is back today where they're using this today. They're letting the internet find the differences and then they're pitting differences against everything. Who gives a fuck if LeBron is the GOAT over Jordan? Who gives a fuck, bro? Fucking basketball. Who cares?
strictly entertainment.
Yeah, it's there for people, but see, people have become such fanatics for meaningless shit that they're not watching this man steal from you. Steal your rights is what he's really stealing, right? Missing that whole shit, right? It says, now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulteration, respect, or admiration. So you have to create distrust. And know how the slave master would do it? He create this. I'm just using it like this, right? Using distrust among the slaves of each other, and he has distrust for you, while you don't have distrust for me. So because you're having differences with them, who you gonna come to solve that distrust? You're gonna come to me. But I have distrust for you, so I'm gonna make sure that y'all never band together, right? It says, the black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. We're seeing all these things that aren't taught no more still playing out in society. That's why I was saying about the mental side of it, the spiritual side of it. And there was a page in here that said,
that's why it says in Isaiah the 52nd chapter, for Jerusalem to put on the beautiful garments, which represents this truth. Like the Lord said, that you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And then it also says in that same verse, loose thy neck, loose the bands from thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. Loose the bands from thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. All right, meaning it's time for you to come from out of that enslaved mindset, mentality. Okay? Once we come up out of that, this devil have no free reign over you. You know? He no longer has your mind. And that's an act of rebellion.
Yep.
That's why they're threatened by this truth.
Yep.
This is an act of rebellion. Knowing and understanding this information, you know, identifying them as your actual enemy when they programmed in you.
Yeah.
That there was, you know, they're your neighbor. Servants obey your master. They programmed you with the slave Bible.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Watch when I keep reading. It's about to say what you're about to say, right? So don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, right?
Yep.
And the young black male against the old black male. Whose generation is better? Is it X or is it Z? Is it why is Gen Z and why, you know, these arguments are set up online to push this narrative in your minds. You know, when we know the older has the right mentality because they have the experience, but they also wasn't taught to relate it to the younger because they had a disconnection because they took the fathers out there. Because the younger generation, let's not act like we don't know this. The younger generation don't know how to accept instruction from a man.
Mm-hmm.
How somebody to come with a same with mentally you know, what's the word I want to use? A sense of understanding and force or fervence of spirit to tell another man to do something without getting all butthurt.
Harsh
like
criticizing.
To criticize, not even constructive criticism, right? It goes on to say, you must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves against the dark-skinned slaves. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us, right? But they must love, respect, and trust only us. That's why they're voting for their affiliate parties that are all against them. It don't matter if you're independent, Democratic, Republican, ain't none of this for you. The only documentation that's out there that's actually for our people is in the Bibles that we read, with the proper spirit of the Holy Spirit, right? Yep, it says, gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them, have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. You heard that before, right? Don't let a good prices go to waste, right? If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, the other page was headed at, it says, keep the body and take the mind, right? In other words, break the will to resist. Now, the breaking process is the same for the horse and the, you know, the slave. They don't put the slave word there.
Yeah, hard R.
Hard R there. Only slightly varying in degrees, which gets it worse. It ain't the horse. But as we said before, you must keep your eye focused on the female and the offspring of the horse and on the hard R, right? A brief discourse in offspring development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. They're breaking the whole shit down that we're living in today. Why do you think these tribes, particularly this top tribe, and their women don't get along? They don't. Any rarity of them getting along is surface mostly, and they just understand that they work well together. But generally, in public, on a large scale, it's rare. It just really is rare.
Yeah, I looked up.
It's
like it. I looked up Willie Lynch in the Wikipedia. You know what it says? It says a hoax.
Stop. Of course. Of course. But we can see that this is well thought out and diabolical, and we're living it. Of course, it was saying it's a hoax.
That was lying about
Snopes.
everything. They lie about everything.
Yeah, everything is a hoax. Of course. It says a brief.
Yeah, any person can go on Wikipedia and put whatever insert whatever information.
Yep.
Fact checks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but the thing is, see, the new speech.
Yep.
He fucking changed times and laws.
Yep.
You know, he changed all the course of history. You know.
This is now bred into the people that this was sent to, and now their descendants just naturally have it in their bodies. It's just how this is in their heritage almost.
Syndrome.
Yeah, it's just part of who they are now. But it's us that have our history and heritage beaten out of us, and now it's perpetually, like it's telling you, now it's perpetually out of us. Right? It says a brief discourse in offspring development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. Pay little attention to the generation of original breaking, but concentrate on future generations. So don't worry about when you first implementing certain mentalities into the people. It's the future generations are the one that got to make sure. That's why the brother said just 20 years ago, we saw that this brainwashing became super heavy. They was breaking the generations. The 60s was a major moment, opportunity for them to break the mentality of our people. You know, and all the lynchings previous to that. But now is when they're starting to see the dividends of it working out, of it really coming to light. Now we fill up their military. Now we fight for their causes harder than we fight for our own cause. Mm-hmm. We don't even fight for we don't even know what our own causes are anymore. If you watch how hard people are fighting for one of these parties to win the presidency, you realize that we are homeborn slaves. We are spoiled, as the scriptures say. Right?
Jake fight hard for the anti-Sem propaganda.
More than your own slavery.
Yep.
And them calling you with the hard R.
Remember when they was making they were trying to make an example out of Kyrie and Kanye, and they had all these corporate sellout Negroes giving their 2 cents, basically humiliating and shaming Kyrie and Kanye for their remarks. You know, Shaq with his you know that clown. He forgot that he had the fucking theater that showed that documentary.
Right, the same film.
But they had his ass come around and get on Kyrie and Barkley and them. You know, so Jake, they'll turn into an attack dog for the oppressor to attack you, showing you that they programmed Jake very well.
And we do it. Do you think they really had to say something? Did they really come and threaten Shaq? They probably had to threaten him. Just kind of talk to him like, man, that's crazy you're doing. Do you feel that way? Man, you have a voice, you have a platform, you should probably say something.
Yeah, hey, we own you, nigga.
Which is what they're saying.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
I don't think he got that message threatening.
Yeah, he's broken enough to where they don't even got to.
Yep. It says, therefore, if you break the female, she will break the offspring in its early years of development. And when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up to you. Like right when he's ready to help work, right? For her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process. That's why they took the man out the house and gave it to the women, and then they provided the things, all the physical things that men would naturally provide, But then they were left without all the spiritual things that really was the power of the union between man and woman. You know, the connection to the Most High. It says, for example,
And read a little more of that.
Yeah.
Get some more precepts.
yeah. I'm just waiting for any time
Come.
brothers want to hop in. I know the brothers holding that, but I mean that pretty much tells it. I don't even have to say much more.
All right, I got a quick one. There's a Lamentation 4 and 21. In the NLT it says, "Are you rejoicing in the land of Uz, O people of Edom? But you too must drink from the cup of the Lord's anger. You too will be stripped naked in your drunkenness. O beautiful Jerusalem, your punishment will end. You will soon return from exile. But Edom, your punishment is just beginning. Soon your many sins will be exposed."
Yep.
That's where we at with it right now.
Yep. This dumbass wrote it down, publicized. Then they have to try to go back. Oh, it's a hoax. How? When the shit's working. Where the proof it worked?
Yep.
Don't forget yours.
Yeah, they never thought that Jacob would come back into remembrance. You know, they weren't counting with the Holy Spirit.
Yep.
You know, they put countless resources, money, time, and effort into suppressing this truth and oppressing Jake. So they figured, hey, these niggas can't even read, man.
Top priority.
They don't even know how to read anymore, right? They're not gonna remember themselves.
Look, and they even think about how twisted this is. What was the number one thing that they pushed on our people? If you ask a black person, how do you get out of slavery? You know what they'll tell you? Black guys, they'll think that education to get out of poverty or whatever. They'll say education. Well, your slave master who put you in poverty is who you're trying to get your education from.
Trying to go to higher universities,
Yeah.
thinking that, and they equate education with success.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if I'm getting educated, I can be successful, and I'm not in slavery anymore because I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, nah, nigga, you just in it just like us. You was just a slave that got more to lose.
Jeremiah 49:12. "But thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he? Thou shalt altogether go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it."
Cup of slavery, man.
Right.
The hell that's coming to be. So
Because Esau he took it too far. You know?
35.
I'm thinking
I'm sorry,
Ezekiel
sword just leaves of the
37.
evil.
Yeah,
the
35.
35.
You know, they forward their
35.
affliction.
Yeah.
There it comes.
Yeah, Zechariah 1.
Oh, you didn't read
It's
that?
another Ezekiel 35, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You took that right one?
Yeah,
Just
same.
Amos 1 and 11 too.
Yep.
I got a quick one.
We can end on that note too. Yeah, get
These
these
last
precepts.
ones will finish up. Yep. I got this in Second Esdras, chapter 6, verse 50. I'll start at 56. Yep. It says, "As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel." Yeah. So if the Heavenly Father said that, we gotta be like, "Hey, Father, you said this." So it gives us peace to know that the rest of the prophetic scriptures fall in line with Him making this back right. Right? If they're nothing, why they gonna say at the end, why they rule over us? Anyway, it says, "And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sake, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?" Well, the answer is the prophecies are telling us it's almost up. This man is on trial. So get your mind out of this. It said, Micah 2, Rise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It will salute you even with a sword destruction. I got him.
Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
Probably read that one.
And you can go through all throughout the scriptures.
Yep.
From when we came out of Egypt, Amalek tried to fight us and attack us. As soon as we came up out of there, when we tried to pass through Edom, and they wouldn't let us pass through.
We came peacefully.
Yeah.
It was not like we coming.
You don't need to drink.
Yeah, you don't need
Yeah,
no-
you don't that would just let us get through here.
You can think of that to Haman trying to exterminate the kingdom of Judah.
When Jacob came with his whole family, and they ran, he met him with an army.
Right.
You need us with an army for, bro? It's my family.
His
We don't
hatred
show
was
women
present
and
every
children.
time. Every time. To Antiochus Epiphanes, to Herod, you name it, the Flavian dynasty, that was responsible for the siege of Jerusalem, 70 AD, all the way up to the conquest. It came over here in the late 1400s. And colonized all the New World, so to speak. All the northern tribes was already over here, and he did what he did to the northern tribes, and what he did with the southern kingdom, bringing them over here and doing what he did to. This man got so much to pay for.
A lot of blood.
So much.
Yeah. There's the stories that are written about what they were doing to the women when they came out here, using dogs to rip out the fetuses from their bellies.
Or where they get stuffing from.
The torture methods they were using, crazy.
Yeah. That's in scripture. Real quick, Hosea 13 and 16 is dealing with Ephraim, the northern kingdom. Hosea 13:16, it says, Samaria shall become desolate, for she hath rebelled against her God. They shall fall by the sword, their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and their women with child shall be ripped up. How would they get ripped up? Wild beasts.
Dogs tear. Wild beasts.
And Samaria represents the northern kingdom.
Yep. That's where it's set up.
Huh?
Revelations 18 and I'll start at 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Remember her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she have filled her double.
And it's crazy. That's why when you look at these Christians, they hate the Old Testament. A lot of these Christians hate it because their judgment is a lot of their judgment written in the Old Testament that still needs to come to pass. So part
They like to demonize like the Old Testament, the God of the Old Testament. That guy, that's not the same.
Like it ain't the same.
Yeah, they'll just say Jesus is God.
Yep.
That's the only
Now
one. That's
now he's a good guy. Now,
the good guy. That's
not that they didn't kill him, he's okay. Now he's a nice guy that they didn't humble him and killed him or whatever.
Turn the sun into the Most High, and that's the guy who walked on the earth and washing feet. That's God.
Edomites don't even know that they Edomites according to the Bible, but they feel convicted in their soul. So like this in the back of their mind, like just in case this is us, or we have some part in this. We don't want to serve that guy. We want to,
Right. So yeah, a lot of Edomites, they extend the hand and try to help Jake and do shit for Jake. Maybe that judgment won't come down on him so hard. Like, all you Edomites is gonna get judged. Jake. I mean, they try to do like the Blind Side story. Bring it Jake.
Losing Isaiah.
Yeah, losing Isaiah.
Taking in crackhead babies.
Yeah, they doing a good deed. Like stop.
Anybody got anything else?
I got a quick precept.
Go ahead.
This is Psalms 137 and 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Pause. What is that talking about?
That's talking about when I think when Babylon had came and took over Jerusalem, Edom would be like, yeah, burn it down to the ground. It says, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dashes the little ones against the stones.
That shows real hatred of Esau, man, because Esau, he's not even in the game, but he's on the sideline with your opposition. Whoever you're going against, he's cheering them on, telling them, hey, run this play right here, do this. I
He
seen
was
him.
on some enemy of my enemy is my friend type.
Yeah.
Babylonians, they were just mighty. The Lord was dealing with them at the time, so they were like, "Well, shit, let's link up with the Babylonians. And let's get them.
With Haman. They
Mm-hmm.
tried to turn the king of Persia against us.
Yeah. They writing letters. They not going to pay tribute.
It's funny. If you notice each captivity, he kept trying to tell the other rulers, take them all the way out. Take them all the way out. And finally, he came in with the Greeks.
Let me show you how to do it.
Exactly.
Let me show you how to do this. You got to
take their temple down.
Yep.
You got to
Maccabees 1.
Change everything.
Change the laws. If they circumcise their children, put them to death. If they follow, burn their books. Esau essentially came in there, like you said, showed them how to do it. For 2 captivities.
Yeah, back to back.
Back to back.
That's why it's gonna be such a sigh of relief, man. The whole world is gonna sigh and be at ease once this man is taken down, man. And like the scripture you quoted earlier, a man that gets to see the downfall of his enemy. How much more, Lord willing, we get to take part in that.
So with that, we're gonna give all praise, glory, and honor
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash.
Good morning to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. We're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.